Can I just say, the jumper you're probably going to buy for Ed is probably the one that Malachi lost this term.
And that's it, Margaret. I feel like I'm buying back my own money. Oh, it's so annoying. Can you see Sudako now?
Good morning.
Good morning. Good
Good
morning
morning,
from
Zariah.
breakfast people.
Breakfast. What's for breakfast this morning?
We are having strawberries with Weetabix with strawberries in them. Um, which has been good, but it's been half eating and half dancing to eat to get it down her. But yes, Weetabix with
Whatever it takes.
strawberries, exactly. Excellent. What was your breakfast this morning, my sweet?
We had scrambled eggs with some grapes, and we also had dry cereal. So he just had bits of cereal, which she just held in her hand and ate. So yeah, quite a big breakfast today, actually. And obviously some breast milk.
Of course, of course. Breakfast isn't breakfast without some breast milk on top. Standard.
Oh, okay. Anyone who's listening, just like listen to this. Just listen to this. Silence. Silence. What does that mean, everybody? The class, let's answer this, class. What does that mean?
It's back to school.
The kids are back to school.
Although, to be fair,
Yay!
I did drop the boys off and then turn back and remember I still have a child at home with me, aka Zariah. But
Okay,
yes,
but that's all right. But hold on, talk about your school drop. The fact that last term, you were doing two school drop-offs at two different schools. Right, just talk that through with us.
so last term, last academic year, Ezzy went to a preschool, and Malachi went to obviously his primary school. So I had two drop-offs at the same time. So Malachi's drop-off time is between 8:20 and 8:40. Phil's drop-off time is between 8:30 and 8:45. So I had to, and the drive. All right. So, as if anyone who lives in London or anywhere in the outskirts, surrounding close to London, still, you know that getting from A to B in a car during school hours, is a myth. There is traffic without a doubt. So a journey that in theory should take me about 10 minutes, 8 minutes, takes about 20 minutes and a bit. So I was leaving home, dropping Malachi, then driving straight to Ezzy's nursery preschool, dropping him, and then I could breathe. So it was, and after school as well. So I'd obviously have to pick them up after school. And Malachi's after school finishes. Malachi finishes school at 3:05. Do they ever come out on time? No, but he finishes at 3:05. And pick up for Eddie's nursery starts at 3:15. Until 3:30. So there's the 15-minute window to pick them up. Did I ever get to Ezzy on time? No. Luckily, the preschool know me so well that they're like, we know you're picking up Malachi, it's fine. They always gave me grace. But every pick up and drop off, I was constantly heavy breathing, stressing, not even trying to. It was constantly, people get off the road. If you're a bad driver, get out of the way. Get out of the way. So yeah, so now I'm up to one. I'm doing one
Hold on.
off.
Hold on. You didn't add the fact that the roadworks and every so often, so twice a week, twice a week, Alice would call me, or I would call her after the school drop off, and she'd be like, Margaret, I'm sitting in traffic, and there's someone in front of me who wants to move their car, and there's da 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 da, and there's roadworks, blah 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 blah. It
So
was a nightmare.
it's a nightmare. And where we live, the place where we live, I swear, they just decide overnight, the councillors all get together and just say, today, do you know what? They do a secret squirrel meeting every 2 weeks and just say, do you know what? Today's the day. We're just going to put some roadworks out. We'll put no roadmen there. There will be no people there working or doing anything. But we'll just dig up. We'll put some cones around it and make people sit in traffic. And within the area, there are so many schools in the area as well that everybody is doing the exact same thing at the exact same time. So they choose to do roadworks when everyone is back to school. Why are you doing roadworks when we're all back at school, please? Why?
Okay. I agree. Why do they do that? But then I said this to somebody and they said, oh, so the people who do roadworks don't have families. You don't think they have to drop off their children as well? They can't just work in the summer holidays.
I'm sure they do have families, but there's certain jobs that it doesn't matter whether it's a summer holiday or not. Work. Sorry, no offence. But you should be working. But also, I just think, do you know the road workmen that work at like midnight? Like
Yeah,
they
yeah, yeah. Those who do like the motorway and stuff.
yeah, get them. Get them to come in, work through the holidays or work through the night and leave the road for the daytime. Because school pick-up and drop-off is a nightmare. And people, there's already a mixture of people who don't know how to drive in the first place, the elderly who choose to still wake up at the crack of dawn and leave their... You don't need to leave the house at this time, old people. No offence, but the task you needed to do could have waited until 9 o'clock when everyone had done school drop off. But no, you have to be out on the road at the 8 o'clock hour. Why? The task could have waited until 9. So you've got the elderly who are also on the road doing I don't know what. Then you have parents who are trying to do the drop off. You've got the ones who are trying to get to work. So everyone is frustrated. Why must we all do stuff at the same time? And this is what I mean. Like even at lunchtime. Do you know at lunchtime when it's like, oh, lunch is between 12 and 2 for standard working offices. Why is it once again the elderly decide this is when I'm going to go to the post office? Old lady, I have an hour to run my errands. Why are you in the post office trying to send 50 letters to your grandkids right now? Why? Drives me insane. I just think there's core hours that people shouldn't be out unless you have business doing certain things. Unless you're a parent dropping off or you're trying to get to work, you should not be out at these times. Please, please. Sorry, I'm proper ranting.
I'm
Yes,
just
my nerves.
crying. Oh my. But now the situation has changed.
Yeah, sorry, back to the story. Now the situation has changed and I have one drop off. One drop off to one school. One. But of course, the council have decided that this is now when they're going to do roadworks for the next 6 months in the area where their school is. So of course I now have to sit through 6 months of traffic. However, it's one drop off. I don't then have to rush to another school. It's just one drop off. So I'm going to thank God for that small blessing that at least I'm not fighting roadworks and 2 drop offs this term. It's just one drop off and crazy roadworks. I'll take it. It's a win. It's a win.
Brilliant. It's a win. It's a win. And this whole episode, everybody, is dedicated to being back to school.
Back to school. How is it for you? How has it been being back at school to you? So we are about 3 weeks in to being back at school. How is it for you so far? 2 weeks in.
I've seen a really lovely, positive change in Xavier being back at school. Not that it was bad over the holidays, but with the holidays, they have later nights, they're going to different places, they're visiting their friends, we're having play dates, all of that stuff, it just throws their routine out. And I think you do see a change in their behavior. I think they're a little bit more like wild sometimes over the summer holiday.
Yeah.
And since being back at school, she's in a really lovely routine. And as I think you know, Xavier does like routine. She likes structure,
Mm.
and she likes she and it works better for her. So she comes home now. She does her after school routine, and there's a really really good Instagram account that did this lovely school routine. I'll mention the Instagram account at the top, which just shows them walking in, taking off their shoes, taking their homework and books out of their school bag, putting it on the side, hooking up their school bag, hooking up their coat, and taking off their uniform, getting into their home clothes. Or having a shower or whatever, getting into their home clothes. And Xavier's really getting into that routine now, which is lovely. We are back to doing after school stuff. So we've got Explore Learning. Everyone will do a review of that on another episode. She also has, yes, Explore Learning, and she also has kickboxing. So we're getting her back into her kickboxing routine. And do you know what? The first 2 weeks, we got at least 2 messages a week from the teacher about something. Xavier got locked in the toilet today
Oh
and
God.
had to be rescued by a teacher. Xavier should be wearing her blazer to school. Xavier came to school in her in her PE trainers. He should actually be wearing her school shoes and change them at school. Do you know when it's just like, guys, you need to be clearer with your uniform? Every
Yeah.
parent is messaging every parent about what they should be wearing. You really
Mm.
need to be clear about what days they're having PE and what days they're not having PE. So I think the first 2 weeks was at least me adjusting to the new routine, Xavier adjusting to the new routine. And now I think we're in a really lovely routine. It's been good. And they've got this like new reward system. I know we talked about it previously about you've got the cloud and the rainbow. I
Oh
think
yes.
you've got that, or somebody's got that. Yeah, I know
Mhm.
somebody who's
Yeah.
got that. I think they're trying a new thing now, where they have like superhero status, and they have like flying, soaring. Like I'm not feeling the new thingy. Um, Either way, I was like, Xavier will. I love I love Xavier, but I was like, I wonder if she'll ever achieve superhero status. And she did.
She, she did. And it's not even been 2 weeks, you hater. You're such a hater. Just because you can't do it. Ever.
Hold on. But can I tell you what she achieved superhero status for?
What? Oh yes, I remember she told me. Was it all not talking? Do you know what? That's my girl. Well done.
You know what? I was like, your teachers are shady because I was like, so she came home, Mommy, I've got superhero. Honestly, we were all doing like a dance. I was like, what did you get it for? I did my writing and I didn't do any talking while I was writing.
But okay, no. So to add to it though, because you're not being fair, to add to it, there was someone who was talking to her in the class, and she didn't talk back. So with Xavier is either the instigator of the conversation or she will carry the conversation on to no end. The fact that there was someone talking to her and she didn't engage, she focused on her writing and did what she was meant to do. And I know that must have taken everything not to add her 2 pence into it. That deserves superhero status.
Okay, agreed. And I'm glad that you were involved in that conversation because I was just like, I'm just glad she got it and well done. So, and how about you guys? How are you settling in to school and routine, knowing now you've got Ezreal, who's got, you'll talk about it, like his own school pattern, and Malachi, who is now in year two.
Year
Year
two.
two.
Year two. So, do you know what? For us, it's been a lot of, and I'm sure you've got this as well, a lot of WhatsApp group conversations with parents. So we have a year two WhatsApp group where all the parents in year two are in it. And so leading up to going back to school, there were lots of frantic messages. Do they wear their winter uniform? Do they wear their summer uniform? Do they wear this? Do they wear that? So there was a lot of that happening. And now they've got a new system at the school where you have to order their lunches. So before it was old school in terms of you turn up to school, you choose whatever's there, and then you eat. But what they're doing now is just around like saving waste and all of that stuff. Parents, we have to log in and then order their lunches. So we choose their lunches online. Yeah, it's a new system. So we choose their lunches online. So as is preschool, we did that. And now they've brought the system into this school as well. So you have to choose their lunches online for the week or for the entire term. You can do it for the entire term so you don't forget. So you order all their lunches and then, yeah, they turn up. And then the chef, well, whoever cooks in the kitchen, they make the exact number of what's been ordered. So you have until 8 o'clock in the morning to make your order. If you don't make your order by 8 o'clock, your child ain't eating, basically.
Okay. Also, your child is eating whatever there's available.
Basics. No, so what they did for the first week was they called parents who hadn't done an order. So they'd be like, you haven't done an order, quickly.
Hold on. Now. What about if you don't have? What about if you're not technologically advanced?
But I don't think any school takes that into consideration because every school has some type of app or something that you need to use. Or if you're not that techie advanced, and I'm sure that the one or two parents can go to reception and just say, I don't know what I'm doing, and order it for the entire term. But if you're just stubborn, then your child is going to suffer, basically. So there's a lot of sorting out new systems and getting into new systems and routines and stuff like that.
Can I ask, what is it that Malachi wants to eat then? Because I'm guessing they give you a selection. Does he have the same thing? Or do you encourage him to eat something different? Because he might be like, oh, I never want to eat that. And you never order it. How do you do it?
So they give you 4 options. So there's a meat option, a vegetarian option, a jacket potato. Jacket potato is always on the menu. And packed lunch. So you can bring in your own food. So with me, I'm not doing packed lunch until he's in year 3 because we get free school, because until then we ain't got to pay. So for now, while he gets free lunch, we're taking up the free lunch. So I sit with him and I ask him to choose. So he chooses what he wants and then we just do it. So we've done it for the entire term now. Where he's chosen all the food he wants to eat. But I agree, there are some days where he's chosen a jacket potato, but that's because I know he's not going to eat it. I can't remember what it was that he chose, but I just knew, do you know what, you're not going to eat, you're going to come home, you're going to be moany. Even though, does Xavier come home extra hungry from school?
She comes home, I will always know when Xavier has eaten her lunch because she will be calm when she gets in the car. She'll be calm, she'll be I'll be able to understand her. She will like talk, have a conversation with me. If Xavier has not eaten her lunch at school that day, it is a struggle between 3:30 and 4:30 when she has her dinner, tea, whatever. She will literally be incoherent. Literally getting in the car, everything. It'll be like, Xavier, can I take your school bag? My school. Like, she will literally be beside herself, over emotional. And I'll be like, Xavier, did you eat your lunch today? No, I didn't eat my lunch. And I know for a fact she didn't eat. So we've always said to the teachers, and it's really weird at parents' evening, we always say, please encourage Xavier to finish her lunch. Please encourage Xavier to eat her food, because we think it has an impact on her at the end of the day. So, yeah, she eats her food, They have a menu that they send around every month or every 2 weeks to tell us what is on the menu, but they choose their own food. And they have Fishy Friday. So you do this to Xavier, don't you? You speak
Yeah.
to her on the phone after school when we're driving home, and you're always like, "What did you have for lunch?" And she's like, "Oh, I don't remember." But she is remembering that every Friday she has fish and chips, and she does finish her fish and chips.
Yeah. Okay. So with Malachi, he seems to eat his lunch, and maybe it's a boy thing, but he comes home hungry. So he'll come home and be like, I want toast, I want this, I want that, and all this, and then he'll still eat his dinner as well. And maybe it's a growing boy thing. I don't know.
But
Yeah.
so for Xavier after school, when I realised that she was incoherent when she gets in the car because she might not have eaten her lunch, I now bring her, Zariah, I now bring Xavier a snack in the car journey. So I bring her crackers with some butter on it, or I bring her a sandwich if I've had time to make one, or I bring her a bag of fruit so it will have some strawberries and grapes in it. And
Mm,
she eats that in the car on the way home. I don't know if that would work for Malachi
yeah.
or
Well,
does he
yeah.
need, or does he
He's
literally need
just
a 3-course meal in the car?
he needs
Does
a
he need
three
a three
course
course
meal
meal?
because he'll have like a little snack in the car, but then and then he'll eat over food. So yeah, I don't know. But so ultimately it's just figuring out how to order lunches, and I know that there's going to be bare parents whose kids are hungry at that school, and the school are having to constantly call them and say, what is your child eating? So yeah, but we had a meet the teacher session the other day as well, where all the parents of year two just came in, and the teacher just kind of gave a bit of a talk just around, this is year two, these are the expectations, this is how we're going to be working and stuff like that. So yeah, year two so far, feeling good, feeling funky, we're in it. um and Ezzy, the longest settling in the world for I feel
Hold on, bear with us. We will come back and tell you about Ezzy settling in a moment. We'll be right back. Grab a cup of tea or a sandwich, or if you're in the middle of the night, literally just like give yourself a break. Be back. What is this amazing settling in schedule that Ezreal has? Tell me about it.
oh my
'Cause every
god.
time I message you, it'll be in the middle of the day and you'll say, "Oh, I'm off to pick up Ezreal." I'm like, "What?" And then the next week you'll be like, "Oh, he's not in today." What?
It has been the longest settling in the history of settling in for for a primary school. So with their primary school, what they do is that, so when reception start, they split them into three groups. So there's 30 children in the class. So they're so with this primary school, it's a one form intake, which means that you have to, as well as apply on the website like everyone would do, but you also have to hand in a separate form as well, to apply for the school. So there's only one year group per year. So there's one group of reception, one group of year ones, etc., etc. And so what happens is that when they start, reception is broken into groups of 10. So the youngest are in a group, the oldest are in a group, and the middle are in a group as well. So it splits into the groups of 10 children, three groups.
I'm
So
going
then,
to cut you off in the middle of your story purely because you talked about them putting them into groups by age. Malachi, Ezreal, and Xavier are all August babies, and Exon. So
yeah,
they are always the youngest in their group. And what always cracks me up is when it's birthday time. When we start in September, so Xavier turns right now 5. She's just turned 5 in August. Did we not just attend a birthday party for a 6-year-old who is also in her class? I'm like, people, my girl's just turned 5. Your kids
honestly,
are graduating. What is this about?
it is so
Next
funny.
university, my girl's still in primary school. Make it make sense. But I guess they do have to have a cutoff, don't they? You have to have a cutoff. And not just that, we've got people in our friendship group who their kids, although are the exact same age as Xavier, born days apart, they're starting in reception and she's in year one.
It's
How
so
is that
crazy.
possible?
It's so crazy. Just the split is, yeah, the mind boggles, honestly. Because the same with you. Because when we went back, it was like Malachi just turned 6, and it's like some kids have turned 7. I was like, okay,
How?
okay,
How? Literally a whole entire year distance.
yes.
But anyway, back to your story because now obviously they put Ez in the youngest group.
So Eddie is in the youngest group. So the oldest group, they started the week school started. So they started for 2 days. So they go in for 2 days, and then that's it. Then the next group come in for 2 days. That's it. And then the younger
Hold
group
on. So
for two
two
days.
days, how many hours? How many hours?
That was 9 o'clock until 11:45.
What's the point?
So they did that until all the kids, all the groups had come in for 2 days. 1 day on their own, 1 day with a parent. So then we did that. Then the following week, they then come back in their group. So the first group that started came back on the Monday. The second group that came back with them on the Tuesday. And then the third group, Ezzy's group, started on the Wednesday when everybody was there. But they're all doing 8:40 until, no, now they're doing 8:40 until 1:10. So then we
So
pick them
they're
up.
still not doing a full day.
So we're on the 26th of September now. He's not doing a full day yet. Next week,
So,
ding, ding,
so
ding,
hold on. See,
is
oh
when
no
he's
no no. So
okay.
in week two, what they increased it to 3 hours.
Yeah, so in week 2, he was there for 3 days and he did 8:40. No, yeah, he did 8:40 to 11:45.
Okay, right,
Yeah.
fine. So, and by the way, in that first week, when you had to go in with him, what was that about?
So that's just so we understood what their routine is. So we watched them play, we got involved in the play and stuff like that. And then we'd watch the teachers when they did their reading and when they did the sing alongs and bits like that. So it's basically just for us to see what they do as part of their routine. So that is their
Was
day
that
to day
helpful?
routine. It was
Was
because
that helpful?
it was for me, and you know why? It's because when you've got a child that doesn't talk as much, or a child that doesn't give you much when they come out of school, it's helpful because you can think of, because then you know what their routine is. You can say, what did you play with today? What story did you read today? What songs did you sing today? So I knew what the routine was. So I was able to say, so now when Ezzy finishes, and then I'll say, oh, Ezzy, what did you do today? I don't know. It's like pulling teeth. Every now and again, he might tell me a story. So it's for them kids that say I don't know, or the kids that say I didn't do anything today. It's for them kids. It's for us parents who have kids like that. That we've got some saving grace of. I know you played, but what story did you read? What songs did you sing? So it's helpful for that. Or
Okay,
did
okay,
you go
fine,
outside
fine.
and
So,
play? Did you stay inside and play? What did you do? That type of thing.
okay,
Yeah.
all right, all right. So that's week two. He stays there for a few hours and he only does 3 days. And by the way, I just want to make it everybody aware that I'm not anti this transition settling in period. I'm not hating it, but I feel children are all at different levels, right? Okay, so
Mm.
children like Ez, who's been to preschool, who's been to a school where they do lots and lots of things with them, and he's used to a routine and going into school. People, I beg, let those children go full time from September. Other children who are clingy, other children who've been at home for 4 years of their life and
Yeah.
don't know what school is. Cool, cool, cool. Do the settling in. For those parents who are like, oh, my baby's going to reception. Cool. Do their transition separately. But for the kids who are like Ez, who cried because he wanted to go in, who
Yeah.
cried because he wasn't able to stay longer, Let those children stay and
Yeah,
let them like be at school.
it's true. It's true. Because it's a nightmare. So now we're in week 3, and he's doing
Okay.
8:40 until 1:10. So now they're staying for lunch now. So 8:40 until 1:10, and then next week he is in for the whole day, 8:40 until 1. I mean 3. Excuse me,
Party!
8:20 until 3.
Party!
I can't. Do you know what? I can't wait until I can do one pickup. At the moment, I'm going to that school 50 times a day to pick up a child. I can't do it anymore. I can't do it. And then there's other parents who have children in the school, and their children are starting in reception with Ezzy as well. And we all see each other at the gate, and we're just like, a couple more days to go. We all just give each other a pep talk of there's not much longer. We're almost there, because we all look at each other like, I can't do this anymore. And it's a brilliant school. We get the phasing, we do the transitions, but it's a lot. It's a lot. And
Okay, so do you agree with it?
Pardon?
Do you agree with it? Do you agree with this transition process? That's how it should be.
I agree because I do agree, because there's an element of me that thinks, you know what, if you get it right at the beginning, then you set them up for the rest of the term. And there's something around, sometimes you can be too quick to get kids into school and into a routine when actually they don't even get it. So they try and really, really drill it in, like, and also, as you know, with that school as well, they're huge on be responsible for your stuff. So with this school, they're really big on trying to get children to take like responsibility and know how to do stuff and be independent and everything else, which is great. So I feel like what they do is those transition times, they really try and get it in their heads as well, that this is your responsibility. You do this. Where is your coat? Where did you put your coat? You don't dump your coat on the floor when you first walk in. Go and put it on a bag. Where's your water bottle? Put your water bottle in your bag. Remember, and I think what they do is they try and drill it in, so from the beginning, so then it gets into a routine, which I guess makes sense. So yeah, but it was so nice to actually watch him go in, because you drop them at the gate and then they walk in on their own. So he went like running in because he was so eager. And like during the settling in days, we had to like we'd meet them in the playground, as so all the parents would have to all meet in the playground, and then the children would then go in. And there's this one girl who went to his preschool, that she's there as well. So every morning he'd go and find her, and they'd hold hands and walk in, which was so lovely.
Aw.
It's like, oh, this is so nice. And me and the mum would like have a little chat and stuff. So yeah, he's ready. He's ready for school. He's loving school. But does he not have a cough and a cold right now?
See, Exon's got a runny nose as well. It's flu, cold, cough, whatever season. Oh no. You know when you're just like, don't cough too much because you really need to stay in school.
But you know
Please
what?
just cough
I
at home.
was reading something, and the new regulation around children and keeping them home at school, home off school, is that even if they've got a cough, you should still send them in. If they've got a cough, you're meant to still send your, no matter what sickness. Well, not no matter what sickness, unless they've got chicken pox or something. But the new regulation is that you're meant to still send your child in, because it comes down to they're trying to crack down on the number of children who are missing school, and the number of, and like poor attendance across schools and things like that. So the new regulation is that even if your child has a cough or a cold, they should still be sent into school. The school will contact you if it's that bad, and they'll send them home. But yeah, so when I got to the gate, so when I picked him up the next day, yesterday, they're like, oh yeah, he's got a cough, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll keep him off. And they're like, oh no, still send him in. And even when I was dropping him today, they were like, oh, I was like, to the head teacher who stands at the door, I was just saying, oh yeah, he's still got his cough and a cold. And they're like, oh, have you given him anything for it? Yeah, okay, then yeah, he's fine. as he went running in, all happy and joyous to go in. So yeah, the schools are really trying to encourage you to send your child in
Good.
because a lot of times it's that thing of you keep them off thinking, oh, it's better to keep them off, but then they're jumping and diving in the house anyway, jocking and jiving.
Honestly, these kids be off school dancing and jumping off the sofa. I'm like, you can go to school today.
School uniform.
Oh my goodness. So we were last minute with our uniform to the point where we went to try and get school shoes. They didn't have their size in the shops. Literally, we had to drive around to 4 different shops to try and get school shoes. So uniform is fine, but we had to, once again, you spend hundreds of pounds on uniform. But I think it's worse for you because Malachi and Ez seems to be taller than Malachi in everything he's wearing. You've had to completely start again.
Yes. None of Malachi's old trousers fit him because Ez is taller than Malachi was and Malachi was tall, but Ez seems to be taller. So we've had to do an entire school uniform shop for Ezzy, like starting from the ground up. So that's been spenny. Malachi has already lost his school jumper. So that's annoying. In the WhatsApp group, there's about every day at least 2 parents are putting in the group. Has anyone seen my child's school jumper? Has anyone seen? And you label it.
Hold on. So there is a parent out there right now kicking off Malachi's name from his cardigan. They are unstitching or unsticking that label. They're like, it serves you right for leaving your damn cardigan in the playground for my kid to wear. This is another cardigan for my kid to wear. And you know what? Am I hating? No. But you know, I'll tell you what was really kind. There was a parent who actually washed Xavier's cardigan, brought it back for us. But I feel like you are never seeing that cardigan again.
Margaret, I was fuming. I was so annoyed because, and then it's something of, it's not exactly hot at the moment, but it's not cold, so it's a very weird kind of temperature. When the kids come out, Malachi and another child are the only 2 not wearing their jumper.
Alice, but yeah, why is Malachi not wearing his jumper? I feel like that's one thing teachers can help with. When these kids take off their uniform, can you please, can you, for my bank account, would you mind just giving the child that cardigan back?
What? They don't even. They're like, it's your responsibility. If it's gone. And so with their jumper, you have to wear the official jumper. So it's got the school name on it and everything. They have to wear that as well as their tie. So the jumper, you've got no choice but to suck it up and find another way of getting a jumper. Or buying a new one. Luckily, they're doing like those, and the store has started doing a lot more nearly new sales. So where parents have kind of donated or kids have moved on to other schools or whatever, so they sell them for like £1, which is wonderful.
I think it's wonderful. Can I just say, back in the day, before I became a parent, I never buy like second-hand uniform. I never buy nearly new. Alice, right now, I am the first one in that queue. I'm like shoving parents out the way. Literally, I will wrestle you for that uniform. I will put you in a headlock for that shirt. Don't mess with me when it comes to the nearly new sale.
Margaret, whenever they send out a message saying there's a nearly new sale coming up, I'm like, say less. I'm there. Because and it's that thing of, obviously a jumper costs £15. Yeah, and I know it's more expensive for you. So, but a jumper costs £15. But in the nearly new sale, it's £1. I'm going to the nearly new sale because you, Malachi, and probably Ezreal are going to lose the said jumper that I paid £15 for. Therefore, you can wear the £1 one that we get in the nearly new sale. There you go.
Can I just say, the jumper you're probably going to buy for Ez is probably the one that Malachi lost this term.
Margaret. I feel like I'm buying back my own money. Ah. It's so annoying.
For all those parents out there, we really, really hope you had a lovely summer and that you're settling back into the new term. And that it hasn't been too stressful, and that, you know, because it's difficult, isn't it, as well? But for parents who maybe this is the first time kids are going into school, it is also really difficult, right? I need to think back about when Xavier started at preschool, and I was like, oh, are they going to look after her? You know, she's got like she's going to miss her mummy, she's going to miss home. Is she going to be okay with using the toilet? Is she going to eat? All of that stuff, right? For the new parents. If you're a first time parent, we get it. It is really difficult. Do you remember Malachi's like first like time in school?
Preschool was pretty much like school, but officially starting primary school, I remember that very clearly, and it was very much, oh my gosh, we're actually in this now. You're going to school. This is so exciting. And also, just remember to ask your kids what they did at the end of the day as well. Even if they said I did nothing. We've in the car now, what we do is I always say, what did you do that was what do you, I think you said this to him once, and now I say it all the time. What did you do to help somebody else? I always ask that question. I always ask what he's eating at lunchtime. I always ask him what he did that made him proud of himself. Did anything make him angry? Did anything make him sad? Did anything make him laugh? So I always ask those main 6 questions in the car on the way home. And I ask Ezzy as well, just so I can kind of get a bit of a picture of their day. And I'm not just getting yes, no answers. They have to actually explain something. So yeah, just be a bit curious and ask them just a couple of questions. If you've got different questions that might be dig a bit deeper, let us know as well.
So for all those parents out there, we hope you have a fantastic autumn term. And, you know, enjoy it. They're young. And if whatever year it is, whether it's year 1 all the way to year 6, or if they're starting year 7, or just going off to university or taking a gap year, whatever they're doing, we hope you've had a lovely start to the new term and September.